Live.
Hello, people. Okay. So, first of all, we'll start introducing us. I am Xiscum. All my links are in the description. We have here Philip. Say hello.
Hello. I'm Philip. Hello.
It's an Irish whovian. We have Katie. Say hello. She's also Irish. And finally, we've got our special guest, Marcos Muñoz, and his lovely wife.
Yes, Nieves Galvez, yes.
Hi.
Which means snow, by the way.
He's a Spanish non-fiction Doctor Who writer. He's written some essay books, like this one here, The Place of Fatal Death. He's also got another book. He's co-written with a bunch of other people called Something Old, Something New, Something Borrowed, Something Blue. Yes?
Yes, right.
Short.
And his latest book is Timey-Wimeys. Can you talk about it?
Yes, the idea with Timey-Wimeys was trying to get some of the talent that we are aware in the Spanish whovian community to get published, because maybe not all of them are thinking on writing a whole book, but
Essays, short stories, ideas, a few pages worth reading.
having an anthology of different points of view and different kinds of investigating the history and the meaning of Doctor Who. And so we launched a contest in November, in late November. We had short of 20 entries into the contest, and we had a long and fiery debate
Yes.
because each had of the judges, we had our preferences.
Yes, and you can't have everybody in,
Yes.
but some of them were really good or controversial or simply out of what you expect, but at the same time brilliant.
Yes, we think we choose the best we have, and Timey-Wimeys is a nice offer of what the Spanish non-fiction Whovian writer can offer the world.
I'm sure of that. So now we know everybody. We will start with a discussion of the new series. First of all, what do you think of the new Doctor, Peter Capaldi? Will he be a good Doctor? How do you think he will be?
Hattie, you're first.
Yes.
Okay. I think it'll definitely be a different Doctor. I mean, very different to the previous Doctors, most of all because of his age. There hasn't been a Doctor this old since I think the second or first Doctor. I can't remember exactly, but it will be really different seeing the dynamic in the relationship between Clara and Peter Capaldi, like as the new Doctor, and that'll change from the relationship between her and the 11th Doctor.
I expect a harsher Doctor in the lines of how the first and third Doctors were, but also in the own Capaldi way. I don't expect a return of the to the origin of the series, but a different take on what the Doctor is to how the modern takes of Doctor Who have been, but closer to how older classic Doctor Who were, because the series renews but stays the same. How about you?
In fact, what I liked about Capaldi is that he's more like the first Doctors. He looked more like a doctor than like Casanova, for example. I mean, David Tennant, but really choosing someone even younger would have been difficult. And besides, I did love Capaldi in the only time I have watched other works by him, which was also on Doctor Who as the family man of Pompeii.
Achilles.
Yes, I loved him. Saying that about modern art.
Plus Torchwood's Frobisher.
Yes, yes, Frobisher. This was like
I think he will be. He will take a lot of his Malcolm Tucker from Thick of It personality, but take away the strong language, and he will be like. Apart from that, he will be more dark and like a new beginning, because he is a new beginning, a new cycle of regenerations. What about you, Philip?
Basically, you've already said it. I just think Peter Capaldi will probably take it, where it'll be less of the new Who. So it'd be like less for girls to fantasize over him and turn him into more of the classic Who Doctor, like proper Doctor Who style, I'd say.
Yes, probably. Apart from that, he's a great fan since the 70s, I think, and so I think he will add a lot of the classic feeling to the new series, to all of his tenure.
Yes, maybe he's going to bring a bit of the flavor of what the old doctors were, because he's older. Also, being physically older also adds a bit to the performance of the character. Matt Smith did a great work to convince us he was old and young at the same time. But Capaldi already has the old part won. Will have to do other things maybe to convince us.
Or he can just focus on something else.
Yes. There are a lot of aspects Doctor Who can be and delve into, and I think the range Capaldi has shown in his long career is a plus to the series. Is an award already from day one, and also with the added bonus that he is a fanboy at heart.
Yes, it really is. And in all the interviews that he's made in the Doctor Who World Tour, we've been able to see how he really feels that he's a part of something more important that he's grown up with. So the next topic is a new series. It's related to the previous one. What are you expecting from the new series, Series 8?
Katie again?
Okay, we'll take it in order. I think it's going to be very different, purely because, like we've discussed and like you said, the new Doctor, how it's kind of harking back to the traditional Doctor Who from the 60s onwards. Looking at the teaser trailer, it looks like it's going to be really, really interesting and good. I can't. It's very difficult through these trailers to try and decipher what the series is going to be like. I mean, if you look at the list of episodes that are the list of episode names, you can kind of get a little bit of a hint. But I think it's going to be a pleasant surprise. I think, because I'm really looking forward to seeing Capaldi as the Doctor and what he'll bring to it.
I'm a bit puzzled by the titles of the season, because most of them are quite whovian, to put it somehow. Some sound like something Who, but there are a bit of them that tells me that this is going to be a change not only in pace but only also in focus. That they are going to tell different kind of stories, and that's going to be maybe more interesting than what the arc is this time, or what the plot is, or what happens to Gallifrey. I don't expect they to delve into Gallifrey still. It's too recent. It's something that has to go slowly with time. The 50th gave the Doctor as a whole a new drive, but there's no need for him to resolve that very soon. But we are going to delve into a bigger universe, a darker universe, and that means plotting well and a long game for the Doctor, and setting new pieces. Remember, this is the 12th Doctor, but it's also the first new Doctor. It's the beginning of a new set of regenerations, and it's almost, I think, the closest to a soft reset we are going to have.
Maybe it's good that he resembles in some way the first Doctor as well, because he's the first one of the new regeneration cycle, which, by the way, is I hate when I spoil myself, but it's something I was expecting since the Master said that he was given a new regeneration cycle by the Time Lords at the Sound of Drums.
Also, remember his eyes at the 50th. This is going to be a very angry man when he goes full throttle. Beware the Daleks. Beware the Daleks, because the war is going to be open and cold.
I think we're going to see more of how in Dinosaurs on Spaceship, how the Doctor acted, what he did to Solomon. We're going to see more of that with Capaldi's Doctor. And what you've said, with the new titles, it feels like we're going to see something more similar to the classic series, where each story was like a separate story. There was no story arc. Well, in the Key to Time there was, but that was a single yes. So yes, I think it's going to be like a return to that kind of feeling, to the type of episodes. What do you think, Philip?
Well, as Moffat actually said in an interview, I'm just quoting what you said there. He said that every episode is going to be its own adventure, and only 10% of it is actually going to come in together as a story arc. So the story arc isn't going to be heavily independent on each episode. So it's just going to be lightly tapped on, and then at the last two episodes is where we'll see it all click together. But as you were saying, every episode will be on its own small adventure.
And
a bit like
yeah.
Nine's tenure. The
Exactly.
bad wolf was there, but every episode was his own thing.
Yes, exactly like the ninth. Yeah.
I also prefer that because, well, I hate cliffhangers. Yes, it's good to have some story arc joining everything, but if you have only the story arc, it must be a very good one, because otherwise you will be disappointed. So I really like the stories to be full-fledged themselves inside.
I think now that...
Well, anyway, that's only my wish list.
I think now that Moffat's told the story he wanted to tell with the 3-year story arc of Rivers on the silence and trends a lot. I think he's going for a more slow-paced arc. I don't know if you've watched the linked episode, the Deep Breath. Philip and I have, and it's only a small part in the ending of the episode that we have that snippet of what the story arc is going to be. So it's more like a point between how Russell T Davies sort of plans. Yes.
Yes, I haven't seen it yet. I'm waiting for the big day, this Saturday.
Mhm.
But I think it also gives the writer more power because he's going to control the story he wants to tell to a higher degree than doing something and then having to fill gaps, taking conversations, dialogue, action out because the plot has to leave some room for the arc to enter the story. No, I think that the writers are going to be more in control of the story, and that's going to be better in the whole. In fact, we can see there are episodes from the information the BBC has given us that are co-written between somebody and Stephen Moffat.
Yeah.
And I think this is a first. And I think it's an idea of how the value of the story told by the writer is being more appreciated this time than other times, where Moffat changed whatever he felt, but the story resented in some way.
Well, I prefer to hear the opinions of their opinions, man.
I think with that, what they wanted to do is Moffat has helped writing the first 6 episodes. I think what he wanted to do is trying to settle what the Doctor is going to be in the first bunch of episodes of the series, so that it is a strong character for what it is to come. That way, as it's a new Doctor, some writers could have misinterpreted the way Moffat wanted him to be. So I think it's something good that they've made.
In fact, what Marcos just said about the freedom to the writers, I do feel like there has always been some balance between the story arc and the stories, and the individual stories. I mean, maybe the Riverson arc about the wedding was longer, but before that, or even in that, half of the stories could be watched individually without any real problem. And that's what I will really like to continue, or even less arc, because more arc will, I don't know, spoil the joy I have when watching individual stories for me. But that's only my point of view, I guess.
Look at Blink or Girl in the Fireplace.
Yes.
They have no backstory. They have nothing. They are ideal
They're
for people
completely
who have
standalone.
never seen the series.
They're standalone completely, and they're written by Moffat.
Yes. No, I meant when I talk about the power of the writer, I meant that in the classic series you had 4 episodes or 6 or 3 or 2 to develop a story. They were shorter, but you had more time. Of course, when they were 6, usually they were extremely padded, and they had things that were just there to fill the time. But the story developed to where the writer wanted. And sometimes in 45 minutes and with only 1 two-parter, people could have a hard time in nailing the story they wanted.
I did love the Impossible Astronaut and
Yeah.
the Day of the Moon. Brilliant.
Yes.
It was a film.
Yes.
On the other hand, Saturn Pit, which it's something I love as well, the Impossible Planet and Saturn Pit, I feel it's far better the first part. It's a real horror movie. I love it.
Part 2 is more padded.
It's more standard. The part 1 had things you wouldn't expect in a horror movie, like the music, the archaeology, the details. It was done well, slowly, something you can't do in just one episode.
I'm missing more female writers. I have to say it. I'm missing, or even some female director, but in the
Rachel Talale.
yes, they appeared, but we know they are there.
Ellen Reynor was working with Russell T Davies, but she's not writing for Moffat anymore, and she was a very nice, fun girl. I mean, the Sontaran stratagem, that was real classic Who.
That was a good episode. Philip, Katie, want to say something?
Sorry?
It's all been said.
Well, I need the earphones.
Yeah.
No?
Okay. What do you think of in the second episode of the series? We've got Into the Dalek. What do you think of the concept of the episode? Because it's something that they haven't really made before. So.
Katie?
I'm not really sure. I kind of like someone else to go first so I can bounce on their ideas.
About the return of the Daleks.
Yes.
I think we have a blank to fill, or either a problem of bad foreseeing from Moffat's side, because he gave us the new redesigned Dalek paradigm,
Yes.
and
The Eternal Dalek and so on. Yes,
it has
yes.
vanished.
Yes.
The next times we've seen the Daleks, it have been the classic Daleks, or more like the Russell T Davies Daleks, which, yes, with going towards the resolution of the Time War, it makes sense. But when you are introducing a parliament of Daleks, when you are having a visit into Scarrow with a giant Dalek statue, and you are not giving us the fairest hint of where the new Dalek paradigm fits in all of this, we are having the idea that Moffat tried something. It wasn't particularly liked by the fandom, and it was ditched. And it's a pity, because he should, if he believed in the new Dalek paradigm, I think we should have some more insight into it, or at least some more screen time to test them, to see where they are going, to see what it meant for him to do that change, because elsewhere Victory of the Daleks is a pointless affair that has no meaning. And I have some hopes that Into the Dalek give us a small hint, at least, of what that is going towards to.
On the other side, I didn't like the new Daleks of the Victory of the Daleks, but I'll explain later.
Almost nobody liked them.
No, the problem maybe was the color, or maybe just that they were maybe too close to the idea of something already done, the cult of Scarrow.
Yes.
They didn't sound new to me at all. The interesting robot or cyborg in that story for me was the scientist instead.
Armstrong.
I would like to see him again.
Yes, if they had developed the story of the new paradigm, I think it would have been more accepted by the fans, because it would have a point in introducing a new set of Daleks that are so outrageous in their lookings. And yes, anyone?
I think I don't know how they're gonna work it out now, because in the Asylum of the Daleks, obviously the Daleks forgot everything about the Doctor, so it'll be interesting to see now how they react when they encounter the Doctor again, to see if they will still think of him as a predator, or if Moffat will still include that in the storyline. I think it'd be cool to see how that works.
The thing
I have
is,
a feeling that they'll keep it up. The Daleks will obviously figure out who he is fairly quickly. I don't know if they'll prolong that concept of the Daleks not knowing who he is for very long, because I don't think it would make for a very interesting episode.
Well, one thing that I think may make it interesting is that, according to the sound of the trailer, Davros is involved in this season in some way. At least one of the voices that can be heard in the trailer seems Davros. If Davros clashes in some way with the new paradigm, it could be a rerun of what the Dalek Civil War was during the classic series.
yes,
Having a darker Doctor like we have now, as Sylvester McCoy's was, we could have some dealing with their with what Sylvester McCoy did, because remember that at least in the series, Scarrow was blown up
Remembrance of the Daleks.
because a mix of actions of Davros and the Doctor.
With the Doctor saying, very, very happy, by the way, I am more than just another Time Lord.
Then later in the novels, it was said that it was not Scarrow, it was another planet, and anyway, it's in the future of the planet, because we know that in the past it exists. We have seen it, we have been there, even with the 11th Doctor, so it somehow still exists. But maybe the repercussion of the Doctor destroying, or Davros destroying Scarrow, is going to be explored in the series. It's just a theory.
The thing with that, with all the Scarrows, is that when there was the Time War, I think the Daleks had more home planets, like Scarrow 1, Scarrow 2, Scarrow 3, and so on. But let me explain myself. I think the Daleks were different from the Time Lords that only had one planet, because of their non-interference policy. But the Daleks wanted to conquer the universe, so that's one of the explanations of why there's a Scarrow after the Time War, I think.
I'm also interested in knowing if this series is going to shed some light in the other Civil War, the Cyberman Civil War, because we have had small hints here and there of Cybermen with the Cybus symbol ripped from their chests, and it gives us I think the idea that the Cybus Cybermen are having a war with the classic Mondas Cybermen and creating something completely new, upgrading between themselves, that's going to delve into bigger problems for the Doctor when it's resolved, because it seems that the Cyberman story is going to be of the last ones in this season, maybe
Yes.
even the two-parter. So it's going to be the big surprise, or the big cliffhangers are going to be stopped and reserved to them, especially taking into account Neil Gaiman's last story with the Cybermen that had half the Doctor brain downloaded into their database. That can be dangerous.
And in the to back up your Cyberman Civil War theory, in the pictures that were released on the web, when they were filming on the streets near the St. Paul's Church.
Yes, St. Paul's Cathedral.
Yes, we could see the new Cyberman on some helmet or head of the classic Cyberman. So it's a good theory.
Yes, also in the bout of Van Schatten.
Yes, Van Staten in Dalek had one of them.
The first series with Rose and the Ninth Doctor. But anyway, well, now that you say that about the internal cyber war, it makes sense. But my idea was always that the new Cybermen looking like Cybus don't have the Cybus symbol in their chest simply because they are made somewhere else now. They don't have access to the...
Yes, but there appear at least 2 Cybermen with the symbol ripped from the chest. They had it, but they had it no more.
These people have so many friends, anybody could have done it, but...
They make friends, yes.
Yeah. It's a good thing they do.
What's that?
Yeah, maybe she's like us. We are here taking care.
Yes,
we
with
must
the kids.
watch our backs because we don't have angels, but we have 2 little Daleks and.
Weren't they Cybermans?
Okay. Philip, Katie, you want to say something?
Sorry, 2 minutes.
I have the same problems. I can hardly hear anything because our other earphones are broken.
No, but Philip sure has some idea.
Yes.
There's nothing much to say. As he's always get the best points. But
Next one is yours first.
If the title of the story is how do I say, as the story actually is, where the Doctor had to enter into a Dalek, that will be very, very interesting to see how that pans out, to see how the Doctor fares in a Doctor's mind, or however they play it out.
Dr. Dalek.
The concept is interesting because it has never been been done before. The Doctor going into a Dalek, being physically or psychologically. The closest thing we have would be the Oswin as the good Dalek. But I think that's it. We haven't had nothing like that before. Katie?
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad. I'm doing this thing. I apologize, my parents.
Don't worry.
I think
Don't worry.
Problem, we have the same problem, but with the kids. we are. We are.
I think I suppose like you said, the most similar storyline to that, like a concept of a doctor actually being in a Dalek and incorporating the two, would be the Daleks in Manhattan episode with David Tennant and Free Majima. I think remember when the human Dalek and how that worked and how they had the human bodies stored ready for the Dalek mind to be sort of almost injected into these bodies. I think that's probably a similar idea, but it's the closest that we've seen so far.
All right. Okay, we're done with this, I think. Unless you have anything more to say about the Daleks. No?
Just something I found funny about the Dalek Coswing story. That is that she was a crazy Dalek because, well, she was a Dalek and thinking she was still a woman cooking soufflés, yes. So she was in the right place, a place for crazy Daleks. But at the same time, she was because she was the only sane mind in there, the only mind sane enough to remember who she really was. So that was a paradox, and well, that's what I like about Moffat, the ability to turn the stories upside down. I love that.
He's great.
Unexpected.
Yeah, but not too much, otherwise it wouldn't be unexpected.
So, what is your most anticipated story of this season? Come on, Philip.
Mine would probably actually be Into the Dalek, because of the whole theory that if the title is the story, as it says, it'd be interesting to see how they get the Doctor into the Dalek. I think that would be the most interesting.
Yes.
I'm leaning towards the I think fun Mummy on the Orient Express because of the link with the
With
wedding
Amy.
of the Ponds. Remember at the end. And because the title is absolutely crazy stuff like the one we saw on the opening seconds of the Wedding of River song, and
yes,
I think that kind of surrealism is very Doctor Who, and I'm wishing to see that Mummy on the Orient Express. I don't know if in space, but anywhere it takes us.
I am a fan of pure science fiction, so I usually will bet for In the Moon. Kill the Moon.
Yes.
But anyway, I have seen a couple of historical, stories made in the past that, well, I really like them. The Western one, I loved it. So, well, maybe the Orient Express will be good. But for me, also the Robot of Sherwood is interesting.
Katie?
I'm going for the Daleks. I mean, the classic Daleks. They're in nearly every series, and I can't wait to see how this one pans out as well. Like Philip said, it's a really different concept, so I'm really interested to see how they try and incorporate the Doctor into a Dalek. It's a new way of looking, and it's a new Dalek storyline, a quite unique one compared to previous ones. And Xiscum?
I think the most interesting story for me it would be I think it's the fourth one, Listen, because it's we know very little about it, and I think it has a lot of potential, and I wanted to see where that takes Doctor and Clara, and also while they were shooting the episode, Danny Pink was involved, so I want to know how that's his involvement playing the episode. But Mommy on the Orient Express is an episode that I'm very interested into too.
Yeah, I wanted to correct myself because I was saying Moffat had on women in his
Director,
run,
but he does.
and he has two in this season. Sherry Folkson and Rachel Talalay are going to direct the three last episodes, so I stay corrected.
The two-parter is the big one, by the way.
Yes.
But no women writing episodes this season.
No.
I miss Helen. She's classic. Alex in Manhattan.
Yes.
Helen, right?
Yes, it is. And about the series, Moffat has said that he's going to address the mystery about Capaldi being Caecilius on Frobisher inside the Doctor Who universe. How do you think it's going to? How do you think he's going to explain it?
Frobisher from Children of Earth or Frobisher from the books?
Well, Frobisher was behind the scene, was said to be a descendant of
Caecilius.
Yes.
Caecilius. But it's not the first time we have this problem, because the fifth Doctor was already seen before the sixth. The sixth was already seen.
He was Commander
Yes.
Maxill. He was another Time Lord.
Commander Maxill.
Yes.
He always made the joke that he got the part of the Doctor by shooting the previous Doctor.
So I think it's not something that is going to be overlooked. Even the first Doctor met somebody who was like him, the Abbot in Paris, and the second Doctor met Salamander.
Yes.
So how if the faces the Doctor has are not randomly designated, but are taken from his own
Memory, from his own mind.
or the time stream, so he will always have the face of somebody he will meet in his future, or he has already met in his past. That would also shed some light on who Tom Baker was in the 50th, because there would be no need of him being the Doctor, but really the caretaker of the museum, the curator.
It was the curator, not the caretaker, because if it's the caretaker, then I would expect something very different from one episode of the next season. I would love it. I love Tom Baker, but
it seems the caretaker is going to be some kind of Mary Poppins character from the no dimension.
But
my idea was simply that you remember Romana at Boratrelundar used to chose her regeneration appearance because she had a lot of control about it. So of course she can regenerate into someone she has in mind. So what if the Doctor can do the same, but not with so much control?
But the thing is that Moffat has said that Russell T Davies had a plan on why he chose Capaldi for both Caecilius and Frobisher, and he asked Russell if that could be still be used if Capaldi was the Doctor, and they have been talking, and Moffat has confirmed that he's going to address that in a future episode, but he said that it's not like a heavy arc in the series, just something like a throw line.
Yes, but of course, if we can have ideas of that, of course they will as well. It's their job, so it would be a pity to put them under the carpet. Of course, they are going to do something with that. I hope.
Philip, you want to say something?
Just as you said, Moffat did say that he's using Russell T Davis's storyline for Frobisher and Fires Pompeii, but I think if he uses it in the way of just a throwaway line, as just in the middle of a conversation he throws it in there and continues on with the episode, if they don't make a big deal of it, I think it could work. I think it would be a good thing to do like that, instead of making a big deal out of it.
Katie?
Yeah, I think, like what Phil said, if they make a big deal out of it, you might be taking, I don't know, away from the storyline that they have planned for the series. Like, the might be taking attention away from what they're creating, rather than, complicating it with things from Torchwood and from Fires of Pompeii that people, if new people are watching the series, they might not know. So if it's casually thrown in there, it might be easier for new viewers then as well.
Exactly. Okay. Now, if you want to suggest some topic you want to discuss or about the new series.
I love Murray Gold's music.
Of
I
course,
hope he's going to be with us for a very long time. I can't imagine a new Who without Murray Gold. Someday we'll do, but at the moment I can't. And I hope he surprises us with a new range of scores for this new Doctor, new paces, new kinds of adventure, and the music is a very important part of the texture, of the flavor, of the pace, as I said, of the series.
Yeah.
That even those who have seen the leaked episodes haven't yet had the pleasure to taste in its finished form. So I think it's going to be. I hope to hear the whole range of scores and have him next year in Spain, because he's Murray Gold comes every year to the
Yes.
soundtrack festival in Cordoba, and next year he's going to direct it. He's going to be the guest director of the festival. So maybe we'll have a chance to hear it at large.
In fact, there are a few episodes of Doctor Who I really didn't like, and even in them, I did love the music. I did. I am a real fan of Murray Gold, and there is something funny. I was just browsing internet to see who was the woman singing at the Planet of the Ood, and it wasn't a woman. It was a man, Mark Chambers, contratenor, like the castrati. Is very strange to find that in modern music, because basically nobody remembers about them anymore. So it's gorgeous. I love him, and that's what I like about Murray Gold. He doesn't just make what you expect him to do. He does more. He loves giving more than he's expected to. I love him.
Remember the score for the hotel? That hotel where you found your worst nightmare.
Yes.
It has nothing to do with the rest of the series. It has disco music, elevator music, and it's Murray Gold.
Yes.
100% Murray Gold. It's marvelous, this man.
And Akaten, the Rings of Akaten, had little story to say, because it was like the landscape you imagine in your mind when you listen to the music. So as a story, it was disappointing for me, but as a way to perform in your eyes the music, it was wonderful, like the fantasy of Disney.
And I think Marigold's music is very important, because apart from all the Moffat story arc from series 5 to series 7, apart from the cohesive arc, we have the music that it's almost the same in all of the three series, and it's something that really connects all the episodes together. apart from the story. So his work is great.
Just to build up off what Marcus said about the pace of the music, it's actually been said that in the new series that the scenes are a lot longer and there's less frantic cutting and less shouting while running. So I can imagine the pace of the music that Murray will do will be slow and a difference from the previous series to suit the scenes.
Katie, you want to add something?
Yeah, I read in the Peter Capaldi interview that, like what Philip said, the scenes are going to be a lot longer and they're going to focus on the drama created in them rather than it being filled with explosions and action and short, choppy scenes. So, like for every series that I've watched, and Murray Gold has been composing the music, he's sort of embodied the mood of the series into the music. So, like Philip said, it'd be interesting to see how this sort of not slower paced, but I suppose it's going to be more focused on the people and the storyline a little more rather than the explosions and the excitement going on, and how the music will adapt to this new style that this series is going to take.
Relating to what you just said, one of the things that the new series is going to do when focus that is similar to the classic series is focusing more on the drama and on the dialogues. So we're going to have longer dialogue scenes. So, as you said, the pace is going to be much more slower, and that's something that's really good because the last series was like the blockbuster of the week, as they called it. It was very action packed, and it's good that we now have something different, like a big contrast to that. That is going to make the first series of the new Doctor like more special.
I want also to ask for a mini-series special, whatever you want, for Paul McGann. I mean, that man has to have even a single episode where you surprisingly you don't have the current Doctor, but an adventure of the eighth. I mean, he deserves it, but he's also that great, and we all now know since the Night of the Doctor that
in that mini-sode he was really the Doctor.
we have missed on video but not on audio a great Doctor that deserves, I don't know, an adventure with Bastra and Jenny if you want.
Yes, please.
For example.
The thing is that now that he's been playing the Doctor for so many years in audio, now he's like he really understands the character and he knows how to play him very well, even if it's on video. So I think that would be a great trait to the fans. And Moffat has said that they're going to start making more web episodes. Like they're going to focus more on doing that are more important to the series, to the life of the Doctor, because they've realized that even though it's on the web and on the television, people watch them and really consider them like proper Doctor Who, like canon.
he has been convinced for a long time because he was of the kind of fan that grew on the alt who forums on the internet,
Hmm.
but it was the BBC that wasn't convinced. But the sheer figures of what Night of the Doctor meant has finally awoken the consciousness of the importance of developing good quality and relevant, and that's the point, relevant stories also for the web.
Exactly.
Yes, because Bad Night, for example, was really nice, really funny. But if you miss it, I mean, the one with the queen turned into a goldfish,
Yes.
it was nice. It was really good in Doctor Who in a nutshell. But if you miss it, you are missing nothing critical. With the Paul McGann Miniso, you do.
Hmm. It's a regeneration, so it's something
Yeah.
very. It's a pivotal point in the Doctor's life that you're missing if you miss that webisode. Philip, Katie, want to elaborate?
Philip?
Well, how do I say this? I think, yeah, what you were saying about having a mini webisode of Paul McGann without it actually tying to the TV series would be fantastic as a pleasure for the classic Who fans. Again, a tip of the hat to them to say thank you from Stephen Moffat and the Doctor Who team. But as long as it doesn't depend on the TV series, because then people could get lost if they don't watch it online.
Hmm. We're 55 minutes of program. So I want to bring up one last topic.
Okay.
What do you think of the rumor of Jenna Coleman quitting the show? You can start, Philip. No, you don't like her very much.
No, it's not that I don't like her as a companion. I don't like the story they done with Jenna Coleman and how they just brought her in mid-series of season 7. I know it was split into 2, but it's kind of like they just brought her in to engineer a storyline as if she wasn't actually meant to be there as a companion but as a storyline, which I didn't like. But now hopefully in series 8 I'll get to like her more as a companion.
Yes, because
And
she won't be a plot device anymore.
yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, because as they used her in series 7, I didn't like that at all. So far, I feel if she quits or leaves, I won't be too disappointed. But maybe now by the end of series 8, I might be slightly disappointed if she leaves.
I completely agree with you. In fact, you have coined exactly what I wasn't able to explain earlier when I was saying that if you put an story arc, it must be a very good one, or otherwise do good individual stories. And I was basically thinking about her. As Dalek Oswald, she was gorgeous, but later not so much.
Katie?
Yeah, like you all said, they were using her as a plot device, and it annoyed me so much. It's like they were relying on this one character to try and create some sort of plot and create some sort of subplot during a series, and that it took attention away. It's like the writers didn't trust themselves to create decent plots. And what I also don't really like sometimes is when the companions' lives are messed up too much by being with the Doctor. That's quite it annoys me a little bit. I prefer when the companions meet the Doctor, and if they choose to leave, they come out in one piece. Their lives haven't been messed up too much. I quite liked the way Free Majima left, and I liked the way Billy Piper left as well. And Catherine Tate, when she left, she was left quite. Her life had changed in a way, but it was like it was before. And with Clara, I think they have used her in all these different scenes and all these different plots, and you don't know how she's going to come out of it if she does choose to leave.
I have to say that Clara is one of my favorite companions, and maybe the second, my favorite second companion after Donna. But since the Seventh Doctor, as it was with the first Doctor, Doctor Who has been the story of the companion. It was with Ace. It was with Rose. It was with, in a way, in the movie, it was with Grace. It was with Martha. It has been with every one of them. With the Uber companion that Clara has been, it has been so to the huge extent. She has been the plot. The story has been her, not even hers, but her. She has been the plot. She has now the time to explore the character, and also in a very interesting way, because the Clara we have had before was more or less in control of the situation. She was she knew this man. Later, she knew this man very well because she has been through his whole timeline. But now she's with somebody that, according to his own timeline, shouldn't have to exist.
Yes.
And that those feet of clay are I think are they appear well in the first scene they share at the end of Time of the Doctor, where she's absolutely puzzled about what has just happened and who is this man with kidneys of this likable color, and what is this going to go to?
Maybe he wasn't in the timeline she had seen until, well, the people from Gallifrey can change story.
Well, so I like the relationship between this doctor, this new doctor, and this Clara, who knew a lot but now maybe knows nothing. And I don't care if it belongs for a long time or not, but I want the story to have a nice ending and not a Bond ending.
No, something more like Mickey Smith.
Yes, I mean, in the end, the story of the Bonds has some kind of drama. The end of the Bonds has even, it's romantic if you want, but it makes absolutely no sense.
In fact, I could see a couple of ways around the problem, but well.
Anybody does, but Moffat says it would blow New York in any way.
Yes,
why?
That place at that time, but the Bond lived for 80 years.
I mean, she wrote it, but she lied. I mean, what's the point?
Mickey Smith's ending was brilliant. And they have still time to do something brilliant with Clara as well. I really hope they do.
Anyway, I think that Clara's story ends as gorgeously as it started with the Asylum of the Daleks, Oswin, and I hope that's all I hope. In fact, because I already like her as a companion. And the surprise of what's going to come after this. We are now at Coal Hill School, where we started with one teacher, then two teachers aboard the TARDIS from episode 2 of this season. Anything can happen.
The thing is with Clara's storyline, now that, I mean, when she eventually departs, she's going, I think, in my opinion, she's going to be missed by everyone. Because now that the plot device storyline has ended, there are the people that already loved her. And now that she's going to be developed as a character. I think she's going to be loved by the rest of the fan base because she's a very likable character. The only thing that annoyed most people was that she was a plot device and not a real character. So I think her departure will be very sad for everyone. Maybe not in terms of story, as in her actual departure in the show won't be a sad story. Maybe she will leave the Doctor on her own will. But I think everybody will miss her in the end.
I will. Bless you.
Thank you.
So, we are 1 hour and 5 minutes, more or less. You want to say anything more, or you want to?
There is a question I'd like to make because, well, I really didn't want to know anything at all about this leak of episodes without visual effects stolen. But I mean, anyone here has watched or knows anyone who did anything about that? I mean, the question is, is it worth it? Part of the show is visual effects, I mean, but well, I would like to listen your opinion.
Go on, Philip.
Is it worth it? That's pretty hard. Well, at the time, I would definitely have said it was worth it because I was kind of feeling the effect of not seeing Doctor Who because when it was leaked, I think it was about a month about a month ago. So I was like, I can't wait another month to see Doctor Who. So I just raced onto the computer and got it. But now looking back, I would probably still say it was worth it because now I know what's going to happen and I know a snippet of it. But from the episode, I only watched it once, so I still don't have the full effects of it, of the new Doctor. You don't know how he's going to work out or what his persona is going to be. So I think it was a good a base to start watching the new series on. Yeah, so I would say it was worth watching.
I haven't seen it yet. I got the link from you, Philip, and you said that the CGI was terrible, the effects were terrible, but you said to watch it anyway. I didn't, purely because I didn't want to spoil it when I watched it when I'm going to watch it on Saturday night. If I saw it once and in an unpolished way, I knew I wouldn't enjoy it as much as I would on Saturday. So I left it. That was my opinion and my decision.
There's only one chance for a first impression.
Well, maybe, I mean, if the visual effects make a big difference, there will be two chances, of course. I mean, anyway, I wouldn't because, well, you know, I'm a freak of computers, of technology, of everything, and I don't want it without the visual effects. But if people enjoyed it that way, it means that the actors did a good job, and that's also so good to know.
I myself, I think it was definitely worth it because it had been like 8 months or something like that without Doctor Who. So we needed some Doctor Who in any way or form. But the only thing that wasn't completely polished was the CGI, and it was in black and white. So I think it was worth it because the way the episode was uh, directed and the performance of the actors was great, and I don't know, the only thing that I feel it's better is the colors, because I've seen the images that the BBC has officially released of the episode, and I've seen the colors, and they are so much more bright, and it's a different feeling to it. But I think now that I'm going to see it in the cinema and not at home as I usually do, the experience of watching it again will be completely different. So I think it's
Yes, when they shot a movie in the different scenes, you can have different times of the day, different light. Of course, there is someone always measuring that, but especially when working outdoors, it's not always so easy. So there is always somebody in the end of everything putting all the tones, all the lights, all the colors exactly the same for something supposed to happen the next moment. And of course, you are going to do this at the very end of the process. Otherwise, the quality of the material for the CGI will be worse.
Black and white Doctor Who hadn't been this scene since Patrick Troughton.
Well, it may have a look like classic Who, maybe.
yes, I totally felt like watching classic Who when I was seeing it on my computer. So that's great, I think.
I think I will watch this after the real episode.
Yes.
I'm curious.
They should be included in the DVDs.
Yes.
Or
It's
at
like,
least in the next batch of Blu-rays they leak.
It's like a little curiosity, like a behind the scenes feature.
An Easter egg.
Yeah.
With comments by Moffat.
or by Peter Davison, who is so really brilliant at doing the right wrong comments. He's bad in the best way you can be bad. I love him.
So you have anything else to talk about, or shall we?
I want to touch on. I love the way it's been said that Stephen Moffat is going to use. He's going to use a fan-made credit intro. I think that's just brilliant. It adds a real passion about Doctor Who into it. And when I seen the trailer first, I knew it was a fan-made trailer, but I actually thought it would have been fantastic to actually see it as the credits. And now that it is, it's kind of like a dream come true. It's great to see a new version of it, because we haven't seen a new Doctor Who intro in a while.
Yeah,
Since the start of the New Who, anyway.
The concept is completely different.
Yeah.
Because it has all the clockwork and and besides, it's like it gives the fans hope, because it shows that if you're a fan and you have real talent and you put effort into it, you can actually become a crucial part of the show. Like some people can be writers or producers, or like Capaldi. He was a great fan when he was younger, and now he's a doctor. So it's pretty great.
Yeah. It also shows that Moffat and the Doctor Who production team actually listen to the fans as well.
Exactly.
I think it's great like that.
there is talent out there. It's good that they listen to the fans because, well, some of us maybe not, but some people really working or going to work in the as a job on that, well, are worth seeing and listening to.
Katy and Philip, have you seen the Spanish fan-made specials for the 50th, The Imperfect World, and their follow-ups? I
I've
recommend you strongly. They are on the internet. They are in Spanish, but they have English subtitles.
Yeah.
So
If you know about classic doctors at least, because, well, you have to know a bit who is who.
well, I think you have a nice surprise or two.
I have actually heard of the Imperfect World, but I
Yes,
haven't
that's
watched
one.
it yet. I actually heard about it yesterday for the first time. So now that you mention it, I will put it on my checklist.
Yeah.
You should definitely watch it.
That's something I liked a lot about the director, Sergi Paez, that it's not all the time the same. He takes care of doing not only the plot and not only the actors who are gorgeous and really look like they should look, but also the pace of the shots. Some of them slow, some of them quick. The music chosen is exactly matching every doctor. He's been careful with that.
We are giving you homework for the next for the next podcast.
I will have my homework to hand in the next day.
I think so. Someone should stop us before the doctor does. Stop us.
Okay. So if you haven't got anything else to say, no?
Well,
Katie?
it has been a pleasure being here, and
I wouldn't stop talking. By the way, it's the first time we meet, but really, I'm so glad to meet you. It's like we feel at home with you.
yeah, and remember when you that are watching this are on Saturday at the cinema and have a stranger by your side, remember he's a whovian too. He's a friend, he's a mate, he's a companion who wants some words and to praise and
Or a director, or a writer.
yes, or a Dalek maybe, but
Yeah.
but he's a soulmate and we meet by chance because we are the primate with the apes who find uh, chance and make it into something.
Okay.
Yes.
So nice to meet you all.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for sharing your time with us.
It was great to meet you too. It's always fantastic to actually meet people who properly like Doctor Who, because in Ireland here you don't
We're
realise how
lonely.
difficult it is to get.
We're very lonely.
Francisco here is the first person I've actually met that likes Doctor Who at the same level as me.
And at some level.
At some level.
Yes.
So,
So, are we meeting for some other podcast? Yeah, man.
Sure.
I like it.
yes. Okay, so then this is the end of the episode of the podcast. Thank you all for being here.
Our pleasure.
Yeah, thanks to you for going on.
Thank you, Xiscum.
You have all the links in the description box. You have Philip's Twitter. Katie, I didn't have any links for you.
I don't have a Twitter. I just have my Facebook, but that's it. I don't have anything.
Okay, you give it to me later, but okay. So on Marcos, we have his Twitter, his blog, his on the webpage of his
Of the publishing
Yes.
level.
On the online shop, you can buy
Yeah.
his books there. So yes, it's been great. Keep watching this channel, all of you at home. And you have my main channel too in the description. Go and subscribe or something. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.